Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and I'm joined with Susan today. We're talking a feature-length animation from 2016. You can see from behind Susan there, that's the very familiar guises of there we are. There we have Adam West and Burt Ward there behind her as Batman and Robin. Of course, we are discussing Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders, which is sort of a follow-on from the Batman '66 TV series.
Yeah,
with all the campness, with all the kapows, with all the caricatures of all the villains in this. With returning actors, say Burt Ward, Adam West, and of course Julie Newmar as Catwoman. So I'll just go straight over to Susan. Your opening thoughts on Return of the Caped Crusaders?
well, Alex had this when I first moved in, and he really loves the '60s Batman. I mean, he loves watching it. He'll watch it. He'll watch it on a loop. He watches all of them if he can. It's really one of his favorite pieces of television ever. And Catwoman, played by Julie Newmar, is, I guess, his favorite. And so, this one he had to have, it was a had to have type deal.
Well, for $1, it isn't bad, but the third season of the TV show is not as good as the first two seasons. But
okay,
well,
yeah, you're going to hear his voice, because I mean, it'll be hard for him to not comment.
He cannot resist.
What's that? He can't resist.
He can't resist.
Yeah, right. And so this one is Batman and Robin go to space. And in this one, Batman and Robin are replicated, much like the Master in Doctor Who. Suddenly everybody's a Batman. Not that he's replacing them, just that he's firing everybody and putting himself in everybody's job. Oh, that's such a cool idea, actually. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that's really cool about this is the relationship. You feel like he's betrayed. What's his name? Alfred and Pennyworth. And you just feel like it, and then you feel like he's betrayed Robin, and you feel like all these things are really, incredibly like, wow. And so it's got a lot of feels. Anyway, it's a great piece of animated movie, and I really like the campness of it. Some of the big kapow things, all the kapows, all of those are, some of them are really weird words, like yeah anyway, I can't remember them all, but I know it's onomatopoeia. It's just choosing a word that kind of represents what it sounds like, but anyway, that's fun. And I loved Adam West and Burt Ward's portrayals. They're, the voice, it's just like what you get with an audio adventure. The voices have changed a little bit, but the characterization is the same. The decisions that the actors make about the way they break their lines, the way they breathe, the way they express themselves is the same, because it's the same. It's basically the same show, and that's fantastic. And so I really liked it, and I enjoy watching these animated '60s Batman movies. And I think that this one came out in 99 or 98 or something like that.
What, this one?
Yeah.
No, 2016.
Oh, 2016. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it had been a while since they had done since they were on the screen. I guess that's nearly 55 years. That's significant. Anyway, like it's really fun, and Julie Newmar and the people who play the villain characters, they were fun, super fun to hear. Anyway, yeah, that's all of my opening thoughts. Back over to you, Lee.
Yeah, I was so thrilled when this was released in 2016 because I like you said with Alex, I love the Batman 66. I love everything about the TV series.
Yeah,
It's so over the top. It's so camp. It's so colourful. It's a fun show. And this sort of, just to say, carries on from the TV show. I would say with animation, they could get away with more in animation than a TV show. But thinking of that, pondering that, over and over again, I've come to realise that they, back in the 60s, would have attempted this with Batman going into space. They would have done that because there was no limits with the TV series.
right.
So
there was a Joker episode where he did have a flying saucer.
yeah, the UFO one, yeah, the flying saucer, yeah.
Right, Green Man. Even though they admitted, of course, that it was phony, but they didn't tell the populace. The other reason why it was strange is because that's the only time you see Batgirl lose her composure.
Oh,
So, almost every other episode, she's okay, except for the fear gas one too. But that was like the one where she actually did almost did the meme or the trope of the screaming, woman, or the helpless with fear thing.
Yeah. That was to say that they would have tried to do this in the TV series, I think. Like I said, that with animation you can get away with so much, but I think if they'd put their mind to it back in the 60s, they'd still try to make this story. It's great to have Adam West and Burt Ward back voicing the dynamic duo. As I said, Julie Newmar as the original Catwoman. Also, it's the voice actors who do the other villains. The Joker, Riddler, Penguin. They are so much channeling like Cesar Romero with the way he spoke. And Frank Gorshin as the Riddler, the way he spoke, the Penguin was a bit off, I think, because it wasn't nearly as. I couldn't really get Burgess Meredith out of that characterization, but the other two, it was Gorshin and Romero, the way they were speaking and laughing, and also it was good to see some of the other TV villains as cameos in this as well. But it's a great feature length movie, really. It's fun, and it's just a shame that Adam West passed away the year after this.
Yeah.
Mid 2017 he passed away, and luckily he'd already recorded his audio for the follow-up to this.
Yeah.
So, but if he was still with us now, I'm sure we would have a handful of these feature films by now.
Yep.
But, yeah, it would.
Here's the Two-Face one. The next.
It wouldn't have stopped at the Two-Face one, in my opinion. If Adam West was still with us, they'd have been making these every year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Because people love this sort of thing.
Well, I mean, it was weird because in one way there was nepotism on that show, the real TV show. Then they actually wanted to do a fourth season like Star Trek, but the set was destroyed. And then the fact that, the ratings were actually going down. and they wanted Batgirl, but then in a way, a lot of people didn't, and she was supposed to have her own show, but she didn't. And so it started getting very confusing. And then the way that they had to tighten everything up so you didn't have the actual growth anymore. Like they would, like in the first 2 seasons, it was a whole, 40 minutes devoted to the story. In season 3, it was, you're lucky if you got 30. And then they would jump to the next villain because they were worried that the episodes were too long.
Oh.
But then it's weird because the thing that makes it great is it's corny, it's campy, it is somewhat realistic, but it isn't. And then almost everybody played it so serious.
Yeah.
But then the issue is they were so tight for the 3rd season, so you couldn't even develop the Zodiac crimes.
Oh yeah.
That the Joker did that was originally supposed to be a movie, and then King Tut was actually supposed to have more episodes, but he had so many issues. And I forgot, the last episode he was in, the last full episode, he is actually talking about his weight as well as other characters, even though it's hilarious because he goes, "Why don't you mind your own skinny business?" He says it to the henchman. But I was like, wait a minute, that definitely wouldn't pass today. And it definitely, but the nice thing about him was he ad-libbed so much. He was encouraged to ad-lib, but even though he was a great actor and had great comedic timing, as good as Peter Falk or better, he was very insecure. So it's the thing about the Batman 66 is like Doctor Who. There's all these weird rhythms going at the same time.
Yeah.
It's serious, but it's comical, but it's fantastic, but it's also based in some realism, obviously to work, because if it was totally silly, it wouldn't work at all. But there's parts of it that are very silly. Now, as far as the voice acting, you can, obviously some time has gone by from 1966, and they actually did have a live action TV movie where Julie Newmar and Frank Gorshin came back. Even though they weren't in full costume, they were somewhat in costume. But everybody's 60 now, so or older. So the funny thing is, they're in the cartoon movies, they're trying to channel it. It doesn't quite work because the funny thing is, then you look on the Batman Facebook pages, and they show scenes where they're eating, taking a break, running around. They bump into the people from Lost in Space and all that. Or they're eating, or they're playing cards. So it's kind of funny how, it's sort of like Doctor Who in the sense that on one hand it's very serious, on the other hand it's very fantastical.
And it's camp as heck.
Right. So, it was kind of interesting. The second movie I thought actually took it a little bit more seriously. But I also like this movie in the sense that they're also referring to the other Batman versions, like Michael Keaton, when Wes says, "You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts." It's like, no, this is nuts enough. You actually don't need to say that. That's the point of the
there were little nods to the other Batman franchises in this.
Yeah. We'll get to that with your favorite moments, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't remember them, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, but it was also nice to see, as you say, they had Aunt Harriet still in this. You had Alfred still in this. Chief O'Hara, and of course Commissioner Gordon, all doing their best to run the city, but Batman doesn't see it that way.
In the 3rd season, he was a little bit more negative, Chief O'Hara. I think they wanted to give them more to do, because that's the other thing. They partially changed Eartha Kitt to Catwoman, and not have the flirting like Batman did in this movie and in the first 2 seasons. Some of the producers said, that's weird.
That's not fair.
So, but the funny thing is, it's they changed in real life, Commissioner Gordon and Adam West actually couldn't stand each other.
Oh.
So that's kind of interesting. That so many scenes together.
Okay, let him finish.
Yep. So.
Let's get back to the cartoon, shall we? favorite moments, Susan?
Yeah, I liked the part where they're using the replicator ray and he turns it on himself. I think that's fun, and I just thought, oh great, this is gonna get weird.
Well, yeah, well, it got weird because you knew something was up because he wasn't being himself,
Yeah,
and then also, yeah, and then you put it down to what Catwoman did,
yeah,
and then they said with the replicator that you didn't see that coming.
yep, it's true. And then the other part that I liked was the fist fight in space. That was really great with the anti-grav and that was,
when he threw the batarang, and it was just real slow.
yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah, like there were and the part where he releases all the criminals from the jail,
Mhm.
and you got King Tut and you got Egghead and you got all these other ones.
Bookworm, Mad Hatter,
Yeah.
Louis the Lilac. They were all there.
Oh, Louis the Lilac's the one in the flowers.
Was the one in the purple suit and hat? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they were all there. Shame the cowboy.
Shane the Cowboy, yeah. So, and Shane the Cowboy was like named for that movie that came out in '65. Shane.
Shane, yeah.
Yeah. Don't go, Shane.
Shame.
Yeah. So it was great. It was really amusing. The animation is smooth, flawless, beautiful. They really captured these characters. They captured their faces really well.
Yeah. And also as well, they kept the humour.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, that one where Batman and Robin packed the Batmobile up on the sidewalk and got out the car and said, "We'll use the crossing."
Yeah.
I mean,
We're deputized, so we should.
Yeah. I mean, that's just typical humour from the original TV series.
Yeah, I remember the one episode in the original series where Batman cajoles Robin for not putting on his seatbelt right away.
Yeah.
But that was sort of a new thing because in the 50s they didn't have, none of the auto cars had seatbelts at all anywhere in the world. And so, what is this seatbelt nonsense?
It's all safety. It wasn't what it was. It was because the new kids and that lot were watching this thing, so they might as well teach them something about safety and all of that as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
And who would they listen to? Batman.
I'll listen to Batman.
Yeah, no, they had a lot of scenes like that. Like at one point, Batman comes out to put the coin in the parking meter or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
And Robin's like, "What does that matter?" He goes, "No, it does matter." Or other times where Robin confuses superstition with the reality of you don't walk under a ladder because if it falls or if somebody's on it and falls, you might get hit. It has nothing to do with being superstitious per se.
Yep.
But then again, it's weird because then you go into the third season with the London trilogy episodes, and he acts very weird and doing all the English stereotypical cheerio pip pip stuff.
That's funny.
So it's kind of like it's part of the charm of the show, but also it's part of the like Wonder Woman. It's like the third season they're trying to do too much, and it's like it doesn't quite.
It's all right. It's all right.
Match.
They get somewhere, even if it's the wrong place. They go somewhere. Like the thing also about Aunt Harriet almost figuring it out.
She had something else in mind, didn't she? She was thinking something else about those two.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She thought there was something going on.
Oh, okay.
As she kept saying to Alfred, you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Click.
Coming up with those excuses.
Yeah. So what were your favorite moments?
Oh God. I did like it where Batman was hit across the head and he saw Catwoman in triplicate, and it was Lee Merriweather, Eartha Kitt, and Julie Newmar. That was good. I just loved that bit.
He mentioned that.
Yeah, because Lee Merriweather was in the full-length movie.
Yeah. I mean, Lee Merriweather appears in the sequel to this anyway.
And that was because Julie. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, it froze.
Okay, go on.
There's so many. I mean, I just loved the way that and it was just the zany capers, what they was doing. You know, the escape blimp, which was a great big giant penguin. And also the flying umbrella made a return.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was just nods back to the the TV series and the movies and that lot, but it just felt so good to watch this. It's a feel good movie.
So what were some of those thwart bubbles that you liked? Did you?
So I'm just being interrupted.
All right. No, it's all right. I just, I was just wondering about the hitting bubbles, and I was just trying to remember some of them, but I
there was like thwonk, and there was the kablam, of course, and there was some new ones on me.
Shove and all these other things. Yeah. That, like I said, that was another one where they had an episode where they fought underwater. So I don't know if that was making fun of James Bond a little bit with Thunderball, but they had the bubbles there too, but they floated. They floated.
I did like the, because harking back to the TV series, Batman Robin always got caught and got tied up and put into a diabolical death trap.
Yeah.
And this one was a large TV dinner tray going into a furnace, going into a huge oven.
Yeah, a quick fire oven.
Yeah,
because he's Batman.
And how we got out of it? I'll stick my arms tied in rope into the lemon dip. The acid from the lemon will.
Oh my God, that was
just so out there.
That was great.
Yeah, because that's part of the cat. I think that's part of the Catwoman jokes, because one time she had him in like that sound cone, and they had to do the hit the note to shatter, find the vibration in the glass. They had another one with acid coffee, or the coffee display would actually pour acid down on them. They had another one where they were covered in butter with a big magnifying glass,
Oh yes.
put on them so they could burn. And then at one point, Robin goes, "Holy oleo," and Catwoman goes, "I didn't know you could yodel." It's like, don't you hate this guy? You're always talking about killing him, but now he yodels, you like him. It sounds like all these weird.
Well, the scene, one of the scenes of this is where Robin puts Catwoman to sleep so they can go to the Batcave.
Right, the bat wake or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and he puts her to sleep with the spray. But before he does that, she says to him, "Keep your hands to yourself."
Uh,
That she falls asleep, and he sort of gives her body a glance once over. I thought, oh, Robin's growing up.
Yeah, no, that was making fun of the constant sexual tension between
Yeah.
but right, but there was that episode where Catwoman stole people's voices, and they had Chad and Jeremy. I guess one of them just died recently in real life. But in that episode, they had one of the relatives of the producers, Leslie Gore, who was a singer, in
I remember her.
a pink pussycat outfit. And that was at one point where she comes up to Robin, and Robin's like, "Can I help you, miss?" And all this. And at one point she goes, "Oh, I see one part of your education has been woefully neglected," And then when Pussycat scratches him, then all of a sudden he starts turning into, a hipster, wild guy, to put it nicely, where he starts going, "Kiss me, baby, and don't worry about your reputation." And then, of course, Commissioner Gordon interrupts that, so you never get to see that.
And
So-
what about the dance party with Marilyn Monroe or whatever her name was?
You mean with the Batoozy?
Miranda Monroe. Yeah, and then there was the part at the
I mean, it was fun credits as well.
oh my gosh, the dancing.
As you can see.
Oh, is he doing the Batoozy in that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, the credits were fun with the Batoozy, and of course the big bomb, harking back to the movie.
Yeah. He's
But
juggling them and stuff.
But I said that a lot of love and effort went into this to make this one, I think. The nod to the 60s show, the design of the Batcave, and everything. It just brought back great memories. And to have three of the four surviving actors at the time in it.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Now we've only got there's only three surviving actors, as far as I know, main actors out of the TV series what's still alive.
Yep.
Bette Ward, Julie Newmar, and John Collins, who played the Siren.
Yep.
And of course, a little cameo from the Siren in the fight scene as well.
Because there was an episode in the TV show where she paired up with the Riddler.
Riddler, yeah.
That was the one where there was the boxing.
So Wally Wingard, speaking of the Riddler, he voiced the Riddler in this.
Mhm.
Yes, he was channeling Frank Gorshin.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
he was pretty close.
Jim Ward was Commissioner Gordon, perhaps even related to Burt Ward.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't.
I didn't check. And Lynn Marie Stewart was Aunt Harriet, and I recognize that actress from a lot of things. And William Salyers was the Penguin.
Yeah, well, I thought he was a bit off with that, to be honest. The voice for the Penguin.
Yeah, it was
Thomas Lennon was Chief O'Hara,
Uh-huh.
and
He says-
Serena Irwin was Miranda Monroe, and Jeff Bergman was the announcer on the Joker.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Bergman, he totally nailed it for the Joker.
Yeah, I thought somehow the guy playing the Penguin, the sarcasm of the TV show wasn't really, because he sort of had a little bit, Burgess Meredith was a great actor, don't get me wrong, from Twilight Zone to Rocky to, Clash of the Titans. but he always had a little bit of sarcasm, just like in the sarcasm in the I think it was the third season where he paired up with Marsha Queen of Diamonds. And at one point they're moving everything in, you know, the oxygen and all that to stay in the vault while they build the tank.
And
And
yeah,
at one point the henchman is asking him something. And it's like the penguin just gets really bored and says, "Do you have any more dumb questions?" And then the henchman finally hears it and goes, "No," you know, so he sort of, penguin sort of had this weird, you know, and he also sing more too, you know, he did sing more. It seemed like Burgess Meredith always was able to put a little bit of, I don't know if it was the Batman thing or if he was always doing it, but even in Rocky, you know, there's some times in the movies where he's, you know, really nice, and then other times where he's really sarcastic, you know, jabs you, you know, with the sarcasm. So that, yeah, if they had worked on that on the Penguin a little bit more, because even with the even in the live action, you know, movie from the 60s, you know, the Joker, Cesar Romero says something and Penguin goes, you know, "On land you may command, and see it is me." Wah, wah, wah. You know, so he always had that.
I love the wah wah wah.
Yeah.
That laughter. That
to
was
me, yeah, that to me was the only thing he sort of got right, was a whack 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 for the
yeah.
voice.
Yeah, you're right. But that was that was the creation that really made it great, because it sounds like a duck, but it's actually a penguin. Anyway, it's just great.
Well, it's to be, the truth is, when he was making that noise, he was clearing his throat because he wasn't a smoker.
Yeah.
And he, for the part, he started smoking. He used to smoke, he stopped smoking, but for the part of the penguin, he started smoking again. So every time he was going, he was clearing his throat.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
That is a fact, folks. That is a bat fact.
Yeah, there was like 3 episodes in the live action movie where, you know, you could also hear him sort of like, if he was sad, it almost turned into like an animal response, you know, like when a dog whines or something. So if he got really sad or disappointed or like, oh good, you know, he almost said like, wah, wah, you know, he did like, so it was almost like it was like a live action cartoon that his wah, wah, wah would rise and fall, and you know, and yeah, both him and Cesar Romero said they had to work so much of the affectation in the laughter and all, that they were worried that they had damaged their vocal cords or changed
oh my gosh!
their
Wow,
voice, because they had to do so much.
wow.
And of course, you also had the Riddler, who was actually played by 3 people, I think, at one point. Or
Yeah,
2
he
people.
wasn't he played by John Aston one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the season when Frank Goshen asked for more money.
Yeah.
He did. He said, "I want more money, or I won't come back."
And then it's funny. Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny too, because it's like, I've seen so much of the Addams Family that I can't really watch John Aston as the Riddler and go, this is totally the Riddler. I sort of think of it as a combination of
They should have just.
Gomez and, yeah.
They should have just created another character for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should have. Yeah. Yeah. So it's weird. Like, you know, I think that might be the other reason why I like the show, is that it's weird. It has like weird in jokes too, and weird, because you have Carolyn Jones, who was Morticia in the Addams Family, except without the black, and she was in all silver, so that's interesting. And then you have and they also had an episode, Marsha Queen of Diamonds, where she would shoot somebody with a dart and they would fall madly in love and almost kill people for her. So that's similar to the Addams Family. Tish, that's French, you know, and he starts grabbing her and stuff and kissing her and stuff. And then the John Aston with the, you know, the sort of the Gomez, you know, which is funny because it's a little bit like Batman in a way too. Even that show is kind of like, you got the sarcasm, you got the music, you got the weird, you know, lion as a pet or whatever it was, monster or whatever. And then you had the thing. So it's kind of like, I don't want to think of these shows as the same, but they're definitely quirky. They're definitely, you know, campy.
They're out there.
Yeah. I loved the the part in this where they are where they you can see that the Batmobile has been like supercharged or whatever, has got these headers, these carburetors that go up and over, and just and the other one is being towed out of the shop. I thought that was really funny. And
I mean, the scenes where the evil Batman took over the city and was replacing Mayor Linseed, the penitentiary warden. He was just replacing everybody in authority.
Yep.
And then he was planning to take over the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, nods to the TV show, because Mayor Linseed was deposed by Clavicle, the all-female Gotham City government, which unfortunately was pretty bad in the show. They're talking about going shoe shopping and all that. And then you have the what was it? The other times of what was it? It was Joker tried to take over the Batmobile but couldn't. Penguin actually drove it twice, and also wanted and actually almost saw the assassination of Batman by the Gotham police, but that was actually a ploy. Then you had Black Widow, who was another one-time character who drove was sitting in the Batmobile.
So there was a Black Widow in the DC comics, and then also in the Marvel.
The Black Widow was created, I think, just for the TV series. Bankhead played her. And Black Widow appeared in this as a little cameo. She's seen in the background fighting with Robin, or whatever, hitting them with a handbag. She used to carry a black handbag with the Black Widow.
Yeah, she had a little brain device that she could scramble your brain, and then you would say, "Okay, I'll do whatever you say." And then they turned it on her in the TV show. They made her buddy with Chief O'Hara.
Yeah.
But and then what was it? Yeah. So they also had Catwoman driving the Batmobile. So obviously, like any TV show, they have to flip it. There has to be episodes where things are flipped.
And another thing that was fun was the boots on the spaceship, and but then earlier they had walked up the building with with their batarangs and the ropes, and they were doing that.
What made me that you just remind me of where Dick Grayson's learning ballet.
Yeah.
And he says to Bruce, "I feel so weird wearing tights."
Yeah, right. Sure you do. Sure you do. Yeah.
That's all you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, when is he not wearing tights? And the fact that in real life he was, he was very athletic in real life. Even though he looks very young, he already had 3 wives by the time the show was over. He actually married one of the blonde henchmen on the show that worked with the Joker.
Oh, he got poisoned.
So,
he got mind scrambled.
He actually got a few stalkers too in real life.
Oh, fun.
So I mean, he looks very innocent on the show, but not so much, and not at all in real life. In real life, he was busier than Adam West was. So.
Yep.
But
And we do get the nod as well, as you've just mentioned, going up the side wall with the, talking as they go. Oh, I can feel it in my biceps.
Yeah, the bat rope climb, which of course in real life was they just tilted the camera up. Yeah.
Well,
and then they would have Jerry Lewis or Santa Claus. Or whoever.
The only thing that was missing out of that was a cameo thing out the window.
Yeah.
Someone just coming out the window. I thought they could have done that. We could have had Superman pop out of a window or something like that.
Yeah, they had the Green Hornet, they had Jerry Lewis, they had Santa Claus, they had Don Ho, which was a little weird because then they started playing Hawaiian music. It's like, okay, guys.
No, that was when John Ho was exploding.
I know, but it's just a little weird. But then again, it's a weird show.
It is a weird show.
I mean,
And
they
then
had,
that was part of the culture of the 60s. Don Ho was part of the culture of the 60s.
of course.
Okay,
No,
okay.
no, but I'm saying the music is
And
what I'm
and they
saying.
put, that's why they put not Maryland, but
Yeah, they couldn't.
that the Madison Monroe or whatever her
Yeah,
name was.
yeah, as a hint.
And then they also had like the bed bugs instead of the Beatles, and like and then they had all like their first time out was when the Riddler, Joker, and the Penguin and Batgirl, or excuse me, Catwoman, are all on the stage instead of the band, and they
Right.
sound like shit, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun. And I mean, all of the nods to the cultures in the 60s. I mean, like space, like the whole space race, the whole, I mean, and the fact that this was made in 2016, and they had processed all of this, and they still came up with the exact sort of frame of the 60s, you know, like you didn't need a lot of drugs anymore, but you could still feel it, you know, when you watch this stuff.
Well, the fight scene in the TV studio in this,
Yeah.
it was really great because you sort of zoomed in and you went along, and the TV camera tilted that way. One of them tilted it, so you had the scene on a, like they did in the TV series.
Yeah, like it went from straight to fight scene.
Yeah, because every villain's hideout in the TV series was filmed on a slant.
Oh wow.
And every in Wayne Manor is just straight, but every villain's hideout was always on a slant.
That's amazing. I didn't know that, but yeah. And I didn't know all that stuff that Alex was saying. I just, I never watched it religiously. I watched a lot of them, but I didn't watch it religiously. But this really captured it, and it captured that feel of the 60s, and it had the frame, and the only thing that was really new was the replacement ray, or the replication ray. That was really cool. That was a cool like whole thing, and it was very science fiction. It was fun.
Like I said, it was funny because they did a lot of pop culture nods. I mean, a lot. There was a couple of episodes where Catwoman did have a band, but that was a ploy. There was the time when Penguin ran for mayor, and they actually had Adam Revere and the Raiders in the show.
Paul Revere
and the Raiders, excuse me. And
I love those guys.
Chad and Jeremy, and so it was kind of funny that all the little. And then they had another female villain, which was good. They had two female villains in the third season, which were actually very good. The problem is they didn't want to jump to a third episode, which would have made it better. One was, what was it? Mother, what's her name? Played by
Shelley Winters.
Shelley Winters, right? Where she had the family, and then she took over the prison. And they actually had a cameo with Julie Newmar, and she had like what eight words for her lines. And then they had another one, almost the end of the series, Dr. Cassandra, as a sort of like the borrowing on the theme that King Tut did with the scarabs.
But also
the
Dr. Cassandra
alchemy, sort of the alchemy theme,
aiming towards Harley Quinn.
Well, yeah, but she had a ray in the show where she turned Batman, Robin, and Batgirl into like paper cutouts. So I was like, oh yeah, this is very cute, guys.
But that was probably the third, because it was the third season,
right? And
because they caught up with the comics, was maybe they were starting to add, aim towards Harley Quinn. Anyway, that's what I thought.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Harley Quinn was only created in 1992.
Right.
Oh, you're kidding. I didn't realize that.
For the animated series with Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy.
And Kevin Conroy, our Kevin Conroy. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Yeah, I guess I didn't know that. I don't know a lot of stuff about the Batman history in DC, but
Let alone.
I all of these things are a learning experience for me.
This is your home.
Yeah. Do you think it would have worked, Lee, or do you think that would have been too crazy? Because they were having so much trouble with Batgirl and including her in the show, they probably couldn't have had a Harley Quinn, and it probably would have been a different version too.
Well, to be honest, I thought Batgirl was too much.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, because you had 3 main characters, and you had to split the like half-hour episodes sometimes for 3 main heroes, and there was, not enough story just for those 3.
Yeah. Well, the other issue was it was interesting in the London story. She was actually very good and very alert. The other
that was a 3-parter.
Right. The other, yeah, and then they wouldn't let her throw a punch. So she had to do the leg kicking thing, which I was like, okay, it was cute at first, but like all the episodes, she can't throw one punch because they thought it was too aggressive. So she could kick people and kick them in the face and such.
I mean,
She couldn't throw a punch.
I mean, I like the character back. I like Yvonne Craig, but I don't think it worked well because say season 3 was mainly all 1 episodes.
Right.
Instead of story arcs.
Instead of 2 episodes or 3 episodes, it mainly season 3 was nearly all, not all, but nearly all 1 episode, and to fit 3 superheroes into a half an hour story, you lose something.
Well, they were losing money. They were losing money. They were losing budget. They were losing ratings. Everybody had said that the show should have been canceled anyway. And then the problem is because they couldn't do 40 minutes or 60 minutes, like you said, they had to rush it. And then by the time it was the 25th minute, they had to introduce next week's character.
Yeah.
Season 3 just feels rushed. But it's the same problem what our other show, like Doctor Who, had with too many companions.
Are you talking? Yeah.
Davison era, shall we say?
But there was as many companions in Hartnell's era, but they had long story arcs.
Yeah, and also as well, the main character wasn't always in the episodes.
Yeah, it's true.
So, but that's the same problem. Too many characters in one place. Someone has to go. Someone has to be left out of the story. Someone gets one line, and
yeah.
And Batman suffered with that as well. So
yeah,
but it's still a damn good show.
Yep. And so I'm glad we got to talk about the show too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm sorry. I phased out then.
It's all right. It's all right. Here's the antidote.
The anti-antidote.
Yeah. Shall we go to final say and score?
Sure.
Over to you.
All right. Well, it's a great piece of animated movie, and I think that the Batman and Robin in this are hilarious, and I think that the story holds up on every level. Just some of the voices maybe off, but the humor is there, and the catchy 60s feel is there, and I loved the fight scenes and stuff, and so I'll give this 9 batarangs out of 10.
Cool. Yeah, it's fun. It's just so reminiscent of the TV series. The animation is brilliant. It's great to hear Adam West, Bert Ward, Julie Newmar, and to the guys who voiced the other characters, spot on. Just some of the, as you say, some of the voices are just not there. Could have done with a bit tweaking here and a bit tweaking there. So I'm going to give it 9.5 wholly animated duos out of 10. It's a good watch. I mean, it's only 75 minutes long.
Yeah, it's really short. It was really fun.
Yeah. But
I think the Two-Face, the next one in the series, is about the same length.
yeah, about that. Yeah, it's about that. Maybe 75, 80 minutes long.
72. So yeah.
So that's our little review of
Fantastic.
Return of the Caped Crusaders.
Yes.
So, Susan, thanks for joining me
Yep.
and talking all things Zap, Pow, Sock, Kablam.
Yep.
You guys,
Thanks, Alex.
yeah, he's gone.
Guess he's gone.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'll give it 8.5. I'll give it 8.5.
Okay.
So
The voice from the wilderness. But yeah, so you guys out there, please let us know what you thought. If you've seen this, let us know what you thought of this animated movie. If not, go out there and watch it, stream it, download it, have a go. You'll enjoy it. Hopefully you will anyway. Please leave a message below on our video. Let us know what you think of it. Talking about our videos, if you've been watching these on YouTube, please, if you haven't subscribed and you're just watching this by chance, please subscribe.
Right.
And also,
The red button.
Also, yeah, and also as well, please press the bell button and you will get like that. You'll get notified every time we put up a video. So that's a nice little bell with a smiley face on it. And also, guys, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. I've got an Instagram account. I put pictures up of what we do. So if you'd like to be in our group on our casts, all you have to do is message me or any one of the members and we'll get back in touch with you. All you need to be is 18 plus, have a PC, laptop, a tablet, even a mobile phone. But you have to have a working microphone and a working camera. So 18 plus, because sometimes our talk can get a little bit heated, can get a little bit
racy,
so we just need to make sure that people are of a certain age. But apart from that, you're all welcome. So, because we like to talk movies, we like to talk TV, we like to talk audio drama.
Oh, by the way,
what?
This Monday we're reviewing Batman, a Batman audio drama, so that's going to be great.
Nightfall.
Yeah.
Yes. You've just reminded me. I've got to listen to that.
Good.
I'll listen to it someday. So
I found a way to download it off that archive. That's great. Yeah.
Great.
So it's just really fun.
Cool. Yeah. So I think I've done my little bits of information. So I think we will go now.
Okay. Thanks, Zen.
Thanks, Aunt Harriet.
so
until next time, be safe.